Let's start commodities now, which have seen further decline, especially when it comes to the international prices there. The precious metal space, of course, has seen very sharp down coming in after the Fed meeting minutes, which have said that the Fed tapering could start in sooner in coming months itself. That has led to some dollar gains and decline coming in for gold and silver. The decline has been more when it comes to the Indian markets here. Even as the rupee has depreciated, you haven't seen much of a buying euphoria coming in for the Indian markets. On your screen, silver prices are trading at 44,800, 0.5% of a decline coming in, and the MCX gold also is nearly 0.25% on the lower side. For energy space, of course, there has been pressure because of the US inventories rising for a 9th straight week. On your screens, flat trades coming in. The Indian market, of course, had seen a bit of a gain up coming in because of rupee calculation, so 0.25% up onto that one. The base metal prices, while trading flat in the international markets, especially copper, which is still trading at around those 4-month lows, the Indian markets, of course, have seen a bit of a gain again because of rupee calculations purely. Let's get in then. Priyank Upadhyay, he's AVP Commodity Research at SSJ Finance and Securities, and he joins us live on the show. Priyank, hi, welcome. What's your sense, first of all, in the precious metal space? First year of declines after more than a decade of gains coming in for this space. How are you looking at the trend, and what kind of prices would you work with in the Indian markets?
Manisha, definitely QE tapering is hovering around on the precious metal side. Overall, 1250 was the important supports which have been taken off yesterday. And further decline towards 1230 looks likely. Again, 1180 would be the crucial support zones where the bounce back happened in international markets. If we talk about the MCX market, due to dollar strengthening, we see a tepid short in gold prices in MCX. Overall, the range I feel on MCX terms would be around 29,700 to 30,500 going forward in the next few sessions.
What's also your sense for the silver prices? Because many people have been pointing out that perhaps silver is a better investment than gold for the year to come. With the kind of levels we are working with right now, below 45,000 rupees, what's the kind of range would you see on that?
Definitely, silver prices in the near future has been battered due to the gold weakness and coupled with the base metal weakness also. On silver prices, I feel 44,000 would act as a strong support in the near future. 44,000 to 43,500 would be the lower side ranges going forward. And on the higher side, again, we could expect due to dollar strengthening, if it follows in the next few trading sessions, we could see a slight pullback in silver prices towards again 45,500 to 46,000.
Priyank, how would you look at the base metal space? Because today, of course, is a different day. We have seen gain in US dollar come back, and that seems to be pressurizing most of those commodities. But the kind of reforms China is talking about, also widening yuan's trading bandwidth, do you think all of these factors are supportive for this sector?
See, overall, I feel the demand is not picking up to that extent, and it's clearly reflected in the prices. If you see on the London Metal Exchange, all the base metals are trading on the lower side. But in Indian markets, it's due to dollar strengthening, we have seen a slight pullback today in the domestic markets. But overall, I still feel the trend on the downside is intact. If we specifically talk about the strategies, the nickel, if we see on the LME, inventories are on a rising spree. So we suggest selling nickel on domestic markets around on a rally around 860 with a stop loss above 870, and again we can expect a lower side range of 840 to 835.
Would you look at the aluminum prices also, because we have been talking about inventories onto that one, which have seen a bit of a decline with the kind of price decline we saw in the previous quarters as well. Do you see that improving, or would you still continue to be on the short side here also?
Here also the strategy remains on the selling side. Any pullbacks towards 110 half, 111 zones would be an ideal opportunity to go short with a stop loss above 112, and we can again expect a lower side range of 108 to 107.
Priyank, one final question. This one is on energy, and while we have seen inventories gain up in US, there have been some concerns continuing with Libya or Syria. It of course has to do with the Iran nuclear talk. That is something markets are really watching out for. But having said that, the winter crude demand is something, do you think that would be supporting fundamental here?
Yeah, slight fundamental support could be seen in crude oil prices. Again, on the if you see about the technical picture as well, 92 is holding on international markets. 92 to 95 would be the range going forward. On domestic markets, 5850, 5800 should cap the downside, and 6000 to 6050 would be the higher side range.
All right, Priyank, appreciate you joining us. Thank you for coming by and giving us your strategies. That's the view, of course, coming in from SSJ Finance. Then they have a sell call on nickel and aluminum. As far as energy space goes, some support can be seen in the current levels there.